Clinton Kane is coming out to address all of the accusations that he lied about his entire family being dead. He's posted a multi-part series on TikTok, which people feel like mostly was him trying to gaslight the audience and paint Brooke Schofield out to be an unreliable source. Brooke has come out to also respond to Clinton and all of his posts, just feeling like the entire thing is pathetic, but we're going to get into all that Clinton had to say, why people think that he's gaslighting his fans, and so much more. I mean, truly, the situation is crazy and ridiculous, and I could not believe the things being said. Just to catch anyone up to speed here, Clinton and Brooke dated back in 2022, and last year on the Zach Sang show, Zach had Tana on, and it was brought up how Brooke and Clinton Kane dated and how he was this insane manipulative liar who said his whole family was dead when really they were alive. Brooke was upset, saying that she never wanted Zach to expose this information, but since it was out there, she did talk about it on Canceled, and over time she opened up about it more and more on other podcasts. But it wasn't until a few weeks ago that Clinton shaded her on TikTok while promoting his new song, posting, "When you've been over the relationship for 2 years but she won't stop yapping." Brooke saw this and said, "You know what, you thought I was yapping then, look at me now," and posted a multi-part TikTok series exposing him and all of the lies and details of their relationship, saying that he lied not only about his family passing, but his age, faked his accent, and more. In the past, Clinton tried to combat the rumors of him being a liar by posting on Instagram saying that his mother figure was actually the one who passed, not his biological mother, and recently his team told Rolling Stone the same thing. But now he was really sitting down to talk about it. Clinton took to TikTok to post his own series, and in it he seemed upset that he even had to address the situation about a 3-month relationship, already trying to downplay the whole thing and make Brooke look like the crazy one here.
Hey guys, I'm sorry it took a bit long for me to respond to all the allegations that were made from a 3-month relationship. 3 months, 2 years ago. I want to remind you that I'm not a podcaster, I'm not an influencer, I'm a musician, and I'm not doing this for views, likes, fame, or monetary gain, because honestly, this has just been draining, and I am tired. There is a distorted reality, and there is reality. I am here to give you all the
He also posted another video complaining once again that he has to address this as a result of Brooke.
This video is kind of difficult for me for a couple of reasons. One is because I have to relive childhood trauma in detail. And the second is because I'm not here of my choosing. I don't feel that someone should be pressured to talk even if they're in the public eye. But because an ex-girlfriend that I dated for 3 months a couple of years ago decided to start beating a drum after we broke up, that drum has become so loud that I feel that I have to answer it now.
When, let's not forget, she didn't make him say any of the lies about his family. Like, he got himself here. He got into the fact that Brooke has said that they dated for longer than 3 months, which he says is not true. He says that Brooke said the length wrong multiple times, but that it's always and will be 3 months. He started showing footage of times Brooke has said a different number in an interview, which I will say, yes, she got caught exaggerating multiple times throughout Clinton's TikTok expose, but nothing to the caliber of his lies. But when it comes to the timeline of their relationship, he's like, "I'll prove it was just 3 months that we were together," and pulls up text messages from his friend asking if he's asked Brooke to be his girlfriend yet. And he's like, "I asked her out on June 7th. And that's when we started dating." Like, Clinton, nobody cares that that's the date that you guys were officially dating. That's not important in any of this. Like, you obviously did date before you actually made it official. Like, be serious. Just because boyfriend, girlfriend is the title doesn't mean that you didn't know each other the day before.
We only dated for 3 months. Let me show you the receipts. We met at my show, just like she said, on May 13th. This was June 2nd. A conversation with our mutual friends at the time. He asked, "Have I asked her out officially yet?" I say, "I haven't," June 2nd. And on the 7th of June, as you can see, is when we actually got together. And just to confirm that even more, I texted my best friend on the 9th of June, 2 days after we got together, saying, "I have a girlfriend now, you should meet her." And she actually says on a podcast when we broke up.
He performed at a festival that, like, in Vegas, so I had been vlogging the whole time, and then we broke up at the very end of the.
That festival was Life is Beautiful. I performed on September 18th, 2022. On the 20th September is the date we broke up. Here are the texts. So we got together June 7th and we broke up September 20th, which is exactly 3 months and 13 days. So 3 months.
He proceeded to show text messages from after their relationship was over where Brooke was down bad, saying that she loved him and missed him, which was no surprise given that she recently told Trisha Paytas that she was so down bad in love with this man after they broke up that she literally wanted nothing more than to help him and love him. She even wanted to try and cover up his lies for him because she cared about him so much.
I would have done anything to make sure that you could get yourself out of this situation. I was trying to give you any idea in the world that you could just come clean or say this is why, or say, you know what I mean?
And it's interesting how he's painting Brooke to be this girl he just dated for 3 months who does a podcast and exposed him, when in reality, Zach Sang was the one who exposed him first, and Brooke begged him and is currently in beef with him right now because he exposed Clinton when she told him not to. But here Clinton is trying to make Brooke this attention-seeking liar trying to ruin an ex. He was pointing out the most irrelevant things that Brooke was saying. Brooke said that they spent every single day together, so he pulls up his calendar to show that they didn't spend every single day together. But I will say that as he is doing this, he's counting the months that they were together, and he goes, and the 4th month, which, oh, Clinton, I thought you tried to say that it was just 3 months.
On the 4th month, from the 15th of August to the 20th of September, when we broke up, we spent 16 out of 35 days together.
He also says that they never lived together and that he would just stay with her and such, which he felt Brooke exaggerated and lied about living with him in interviews, so he wanted to clear that up. Clinton then goes on to talk more about things that really just don't matter in the grand scheme of it here, but he brings up how Brooke is a liar for saying that he wouldn't let her leave his side, showing texts from when she would go home and make dinner for herself, and says that there was no issues with her ever leaving.
Checked into the Marina Del Rey Airbnb by myself on the 18th of May. This was our conversation, and she sent me a pic of the dinner that she made. And the next part, she says, I didn't let her leave. I have no idea why she would say this. This is a complete lie. She left multiple times without me stressing.
He then brings up the dating timeline again, which this one just had me rolling my eyes because Brooke said that they were in a committed relationship when they went on a trip to Joshua Tree, and he was like, we weren't. I asked her to be in a committed relationship the next day.
Okay, we are now in a committed relationship, all right? And one thing about Clinton is he loved to go on a trip. So this time it was Joshua Tree. He's like, let's go to Joshua Tree. Let's just spend the weekend. It'll be so relaxing, amazing, whatever. We can work. Great.
No, we weren't in a committed relationship before we went to Joshua Tree. As you can see here, we went to Joshua Tree from June 3rd to June 6th. This text was before Joshua Tree, June 2nd, from our mutual friends at the time. And I clearly state that we're not in a relationship yet. And on 7th June, a day after Joshua Tree, I then call her my girlfriend.
Brooke in her story said that Clinton had been lying about his age, which he does at one point admit to, but she talked about how they went to Joshua Tree and got pulled over, and Clinton is so fixated on the detail of the story being wrong here. It's just crazy.
First of all, we didn't get pulled over going to Joshua Tree. We got pulled over going back to LA from Joshua Tree. Second of all, I did not give a fake Australian license. I actually didn't give any license. I had told the cop that I left my license and ID at home, and he ended up giving me a ticket for it. And in the state of California, as you can see here, if I gave a fake license like she said, we would have not been able to continue on our trip and would have to go to the station.
He tries to make Brooke out to be the one that is the liar because she said she found out about his age from the Zach Sang show in one interview, but then says it was from the Joshua Tree trip in her story time exposing him, and he has the audacity to say, which one is it?
Clearly, she says 2 different stories about how she found out about my age. Which one is it? Another contradiction.
As if he hasn't been caught in a million lies himself. Why did you even lie about your age in the first place? But he claimed it was because he was embarrassed.
I also did lie about my age, and it was just out of embarrassment. She was older, and she had said something about not dating anyone way younger.
He tried to make Brooke seem like she was the villain at one point, but it only really exposes himself more. He shares their text messages from when they broke up in which she says to him, and I have BPD and I'm spiraling. He says, that is what it is. She says, no, it isn't. You just don't deserve my silence anymore. You don't deserve me to just pretend like you didn't do the things you did to me. Want to see a list I made? He says, I don't understand this anymore, Brooke. I really don't. Why can't you just go and live your life? She sends him this note. He says, and try to move on. Why do we have to keep doing this? For what? She says, because you don't understand the effects of your actions. In the note, he shows it. It says, things I could do to Clinton that wouldn't be half as bad as what he did to me. And she names all these things like tell the world his family is alive, destroy his career and personal relationships like he destroyed my life, leak all his songs, tell people that he made me cry every single time I didn't want to have. Like, the fact that he posted this himself was very interesting, but he was trying to paint her out to be somebody that was like purposely trying to ruin his life and that she had this plan all along about him.
This is the list that she made and sent to me. Things I could do to Clinton that wouldn't be half as bad as what he did to me on October 31st, 2022, a month after we broke up. And you can see that she's completed a lot of the stuff on the list, even though she keeps on saying she's concerned for my mental health. Also, keep in mind that in the last 2 years, she's been on 30 different podcasts and more talking about the same.
But he didn't deny any of the things said in this note. But he goes on to try and expose more lies, saying that Brooke claimed that he said, I love you 3 days after they met, but he says it was actually a month. And then he tries to say that Brooke is lying about how many listeners Canceled has. Like, truly, you guys, he was so fixated on the smallest little things.
This in the most humble way possible, truly. Like, I really, truly do. Canceled amasses more listeners in one singular week than Clinton Kane has in an entire year. I'm sorry.
She has stated that they get more listeners in a week than I get in a year, but I'm going to give them a month instead of a week. For the month of April 2024, they had 8.4 million listeners. And in 1 year, for just one of my songs, only on Spotify, I had 84 million. And on top of that, this was last year on Spotify alone, where I only released 4 songs.
In regards to his family, he tried to make Brooke out to be the liar again.
Time she has said that my dad is alive, but 5 months ago, she did a podcast confirming that he was dead. 5 months ago.
His mom, dad, and brother alive. His mom and his brother are alive.
But a month after that podcast, she must have forgotten because apparently now he's alive again. 4 months ago.
His mom, dad had all died, and we mourned them every day. And then they were alive.
And then again, 2 months after that podcast, she confirmed again that he was alive. 2 months ago.
It's the death of his entire family. You have 2 alive parents.
But then a week ago, he was back to being dead.
His dad is dead. Not that that's a good thing.
So first you say that he was dead 5 months ago, and then 4 months ago you said that he was alive, and then 2 months ago you again said he was alive, but then a week ago he's suddenly dead again. It sounds like you just say whatever you want to say and whatever is convenient. And for the record, he is dead.
According to the internet, from his brother's Facebook page, photos, and GoFundMes, his father did pass, but his brother and mother are alive and well. He then continues to clock Brooke and say that he never admitted anything to her.
And I ask him, also, why did you fake the death of your family? And of course, he denies it. And I then tell him, I've been talking to your mother. I had not been talking to his mother, but that got him. He finally admitted that he did, in fact, fake the death of his mom.
Wait, and so that was the reason you broke up. Did you have a conversation with him? What was his sort of reasoning for killing his family?
Oh, he still won't admit it.
Oh.
No, he will not say he did.
The first video was dated June 26th of this year. The second video was dated May 8th of this year. Both videos are 2 months apart. So on May 2024, you said that I never admitted it. And then on June 2024, you said that I did, even though we haven't spoken in a very long time. For the record, I never admitted anything to her.
Now, the clips where Brooke is getting details of the story wrong, he could totally clock her for them, but I just feel like they're super relevant to what the actual thing people want him to address is. He eventually claims that he's going to be taking accountability for the things that he did. He admitted that he did cheat on Brooke. He also addressed his accent because he says that people are claiming it's fake, and basically he says that he moved around a ton, so that's why it is the way that it is, and that when his record label asked him to say where he was from, he just picked the place that he had the best memories.
Of this, you can see how my accent is amalgamation of all of these places. My accent isn't a typical Australian accent, and I've never once in my life claimed that it was. At 19 years old, when I moved to America for music, my record label and team needed one place to say where I was from. And since I did not live in the Philippines as a child, I chose Australia because honestly, it was just a beautiful memory, and that's where I spent my formative years.
Now, when talking about his family, he says that at the beginning of the pandemic, he received a message that his dad had passed. This is true, as people have found the GoFundMes his family has posted from that time. In regards to Clinton saying his mother passed, he said in an Instagram statement, and his team gave a statement to Rolling Stone, that he never meant his biological mom passed, but a mother figure he loved dearly was the one that passed. Now, I talked about this before, but when Clinton was on the Zach Sang show, he said that his mother, who was a pastor, whom he had a bad relationship with, was the one who passed away.
Your mom passed?
Yeah.
Your brother passed?
Mm-hmm.
And your dad passed?
1 year, yeah. Chicken Tendies is actually about losing my mom. And I had a talk with my publicist about explaining how to explain, because I wasn't ready to talk about it yet last year, about like losing my mom. But she passed away like 2-3 weeks after the song came out, after Chicken Tendies came out. That's why like I had to take a break, and it was like a lot of stuff.
Because your mom's a Pentecostal pastor.
Mm-hmm.
Was.
Mm-hmm.
You gonna laugh about it?
No. I just love the is what.
I'm sorry.
Who is Chicken Tendies about?
About my mom.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
That makes me so happy that really your certifiable biggest song is not about
A girl.
some fleeting relationship.
Yeah, no, it's about my mom. A
Gosh.
fleeting relationship about my mom. So it's kind of the.
Do you think we consider that a on and off, wishy-washy, not consistent relationship?
Yeah. Yeah.
By who's? Is it your fault? Her fault?
Her
Mutual?
fault.
Really?
Her own thing, yeah. She's just like, she was a pastor.
And on TikTok, he was saying that this motherly figure passed, and the reason why he said his mom passed was because he didn't think people would get it if he said someone he knew for only a year who was so good to him, who was like a mother figure, had passed. He just didn't think that people would get it, so he just said his mom died.
I always kind of felt shame about it though. My mom was a pastor, and our household was extremely religious and godly, and I just felt really weird saying to anyone that I cared for this person as much as my mom, or that I viewed her in the same exact light. And I never said it to anyone because it really was no one's business. And when people would ask, like, why are you so upset, or who passed away, I just started telling them that it was my mom. Because my mom was absent for most of my life, and in some crazy way, it just sort of fit, and that she was the one that passed away.
But I think he forgot that he already said that his mom who died, he didn't have a good relationship with. In Rolling Stone, his team literally tried to gaslight people into thinking that they were wrong for assuming it was his biological mother. They wrote, the mother figure referred to in the interview with Sang was actually a very special mother-like figure in his teenage years who sadly passed, not his biological mother as was assumed. Like, nobody was assuming. He was flat out saying it, and he was saying it here, that he did say his biological mother passed away. So the gaslighting is crazy here. But he was making this a whole thing about how the world we live in is the real bad guy in the situation.
I'm so confused at this world that we live in, where someone can just take someone's life without facts or proof and tell the world some made up stuff, which is damaging and hurtful. Yes, it's true. I started this from the podcast that I was on, but it all came out whack because I just didn't have the skills to process any emotions. I didn't. I spent money like it was war. I dated girls and cheated on them. I loved people only to let them go and have them question if I really did.
Brooke ended up waking up to the whole situation and did respond, saying that she was shocked that he would even dare to share some of what he did and focus on such minor details of her story.
I'm only on part like 6, I think. But oh my god, this is the funniest thing I've ever seen. You know that meme where it's like, I heard you picked her up, hooked up with her, and then got her a Sprite. And the guy's like, first of all, no one even fucking got a Sprite. That's what this is. He's like, she said she found out I lied about my age on June 6th. But then here, she says she found out on June 16th. So what is it? How about you lied about your age, you weirdo?
She wanted to get some of the things straight, like the timeline of their relationship.
I am not letting the man die on the hill that we only dated for 3 months. Okay, listen to me. We met mid-May. We started dating officially dating first week of June, but we were not seeing anybody else. Well, actually, no, that's wrong. He was seeing other people still. I thought we weren't seeing anyone else, and we started dating officially the first week of June. We broke up the weekend of the Life is Beautiful festival, which was the end of September, but in the end of October, we had decided that we were gonna get back together, okay? He sat on my couch and he said, like, if you'll have me, please give me another try, all right? And I said, I will think about it. Thought about it a little bit, and I was like, you know what? I mean, it was what I wanted. I was delusional. It was what I wanted. But he left for his studio session that day, and I got a slew of DMs from a girl who he had also cheated on me with. Keep in mind, he cheated on me with dozens and dozens of women. He does not, I mean, at least so far, he has not mentioned that part. When I got those DMs, I immediately wrote him a 7-page letter. I put it on top of his suitcases. I set it outside my apartment, and I never saw him again. I have the receipts. I have every fucking receipt of you telling me that that mom is alive. She's alive. You told me, you know you told me, and you know I can show people you told me. He's taking everything so literally, like to the point where it's embarrassing. Like he never let me leave. Like, of course I got to go home. He made such a thing of it every single time. And baby, I got screenshots of that too.
I mean, I think it's certainly clear here that though Brooke did get things twisted in her stories and exaggerated and said one thing on this podcast and that thing on the other, that Clinton has been caught in lies on his own, that we didn't even need Brooke to come out and talk about it. I mean, she wasn't even the first person to leak the story in the first place. It was Zach Sang. So just based off of that information that we got from Zach Sang coming out and saying that Clinton was a liar, people were able to call him out back then. And he just focused on far too many unimportant details in all of this that didn't really save him in the end here. The whole situation has just been so insane to see go down, and I don't think he really saved his reputation all that much here. But that is what Clinton had to say about all of this. I certainly want to know what you guys think about it in the comments. Please let me know your thoughts. I love you guys so much, and I will talk to you in the next video. Bye, guys.